Hey, so I made a couple of different scripts which people might find useful. So I decided to just make this quick video explaining how to use them. So the first one of the scripts is this trigger button script, which is a real simple, just button trigger, button trigger thing, which you basically, when you tap it with your hand, it'll activate. There's one requirement for it, which is you need to go to your left hand and right hand controller, which might look a little bit different. You might have a child object, so a little arrow beside them. But basically, you'll just have to add a rigid body and click the is kinematic button and make sure that the use gravity one is unclicked. This will do absolutely nothing to anything else. It'll just allow the trigger to be able to sense it. And then the other things, and then that's all you need to do for the hands in order to use these scripts. All the rest will be done on these. So, on each of these buttons, what you want to do is click this is trigger button. So you want it to be is trigger, check marked like this for each button. So for all of these buttons, I have it so that the is trigger is clicked. I've also put on all of the trigger button scripts, but basically what you have to do is just grab your trigger button script, which for me is inside scripts, and then you just would drag it on to the add component, and it would be added. Yeah. So then what you want, and then there's these two things which you just have to drag in just by grabbing this and dragging it on top of here. I'll show you a little bit better how to do that with some other parts of it. Once you've got this trigger button, this is what happens when you press it. So whatever is in this list here happens when you press it. This is a super useful thing that I've just recently found out about and have been using a lot. So you'll see this inside most of my scripts that I'm sharing. We'll leave that alone for now, as I want to show you how to add things. So we're going to be making on this thing, which I've been selecting but haven't actually shown you, a code. So what you'll need for that is this code script, and you drag that and drop it in, and it'll immediately populate it like this. There are a few things of note. This size variable of each of these must be the same, otherwise it will toss out an error and not work. These can be whatever you want, as these are the current values of the numbers here. The size can also be larger or smaller than 4. So for instance, you can do a 2-digit keypad or whatever you want. These are for the up and down style of code. So you press the up arrow to move up and the down arrow to move down in the code, and do that for each digit. I will be making a keypad version of it, so that you press the keys and that adds in the numbers on a keypad display, and uploading that separately, but it'll use pretty much the same sort of interface here, with maybe a couple of minor changes, but I probably won't make a video for that. I'll just add it in text or something. Yes, so you'll notice the solution value is auto created to this. You can change that to whatever you want. That'll be what the solution values are. Make sure there's only one digit in each spot, otherwise it'll be impossible to get to the solution value, as you only have one digit per slot possible in the values. Then you'll have these text boxes, which basically are a GUI text box. So to create these, you'll want to create a UI canvas, and then once you've created it, I've already created it, you'll come over here, set the render mode to world space, drag your camera onto here, and then move it around and resize it so that it's about the area where you want your text boxes to be, and then right click on it and place some text inside it. And then just name the text or whatever, resize them, change the font size. If you find that they're super blurry, up the dynamic pixels per unit. Yeah. Then we need to find this. So then that's what you put into here. So for instance, this one is this position. So that is the first text. And these will be displaying the numbers that they are currently selected. All right, so that's values, solution values, and text boxes. And now you've got it all set up. You can just go straight in with this. But, of course, right now there's nothing that happens incorrect. And also none of the buttons work. Yeah. This little checkbox here, basically, if you leave it like this, whenever you press a button, it will check if the code is correct. And then it will, so whenever you change a value, it will check if the code is correct. And then if it is, then it will run this thing, run whatever is in here. I'll show you about that in just a second. For me, I'm going to uncheck that. And now I have to manually call the checking if the code is correct. But I'll show you how to do that. Just to do this. So, in order to set up this trigger button script, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the buttons. I've pre-named them so that it's easier to find them. I'd recommend you do this and then go and do this. Then I will press the plus button. So this will add a object to the list, or a event to the list. And then I will drag the thing with my code script on it. So that was the base into here. And then I will just select all of the up buttons and go to this no function here. Basically what I'm doing by selecting all of them, I'm doing it for all of them. Yeah. So go to this no function, look for the code one, and then click increase for the up buttons. And then the same, selecting all the down buttons, going to the code and decrease. And you'll notice that it has a little number here. That's not how much it increases or decreases by, it only increases or decreases by 1. What that is what value it is. And because it's a programming list, it starts from 0. So the first value is 0 here. And then for the second up and down, you change it to 1. And for the third up and down, you change it to 2. And for the fourth up and down, you change it to 3. And now it will work. So now the buttons will work and they'll go up and down. I'll show you this in a second. I want to finish this off. So now we want to check if this code is correct. So remember, we've turned off that auto checking when you change one of the values. So we'll take this button, which is a different button script, which I won't be showing you how to use because it's more complicated and also is by someone else. If you ask me, I can link you with the tutorial on how to make it. What I will do is I will make a new event inside the onPress, and I'll add the base to it. And so here's where you go if you want to manually check it when you press a different button. You go to code, and you go check if code correct, and now you don't have to do anything else. So you don't need to input anything into that function. It'll just run and check if the code is correct. And now we can go here, and we can see what happens when the code is correct. So for instance, in this case, what we could do is we could grab this button, because this button actually has a audio source on it, and then I can play a one-shot of an audio clip. What audio clips do I have? I have an alien spaceship here. Let's get abducted by an alien spaceship when we successfully put in the right code. And the correct code is 0451. Okay, let's try this out. Okay, let me grab my controllers. I am quite high in the air for some reason, but that shouldn't be. I'll just crouch down to do it. Whatever. Strange that that's happened, but this is fine. Okay. So it was O. So you can see, you can just tap them, and they will go up. That's out of range. So it'll go down, and it will go up. And when it hits 9 here, it will wrap around to 0. When it hits 0 here, it'll wrap around to 9. So we wanted O, 4, 5, and 1. And now we want to run the check. And I can't hear this right now, but I'll just sort of leave it for a bit. Press the button, and it should be running. Let me check. I should have put on my headphones in order to be able to hear this. I can't hear any audio from the game. That might just be my headphones for some reason. But I can't. I'll check this before Chelsea Cap, but that's how you make it work. It might just be the recording software isn't picking it up, and the headphones are picking it up because of some weirdness with the actual environment itself. This environment is quite messy because I have used it for a while in various testing situations. Okay, let's jump out of that. Let's do my last bit of code, which I'll be showing you. So I have one more bit of code that I will be adding, which is called the exit detector. It can be used for other things other than exit detecting. I'm sure you can figure it out. But basically, what it is you toss it into anything. I usually would toss it into the exit, but it's up to you. And then all that it does is it accumulates corrects, how many correct things you have. So, for instance, in this case, I want 2 things to be correct in order to successfully exit, and in this case, successfully exiting will be I could do something actual inside this world. What do I have actually inside this world? Let's fire the gun. Yeah, let's fire the gun. Successfully exit, just so we can actually see it. So we take the gun, move the gun, and there's fire. We're on the exit success. So, in order to make it tell you how many corrects you have, you'll want to create a new thing. So, for instance, one of the puzzles that you need to complete to exit, in this case, fire the gun, is this code. So, what you do is go to you grab your thing that has the exit detector on, you go to that, and you go add correct. And then remembering it starts from 0 and counts up, as you can see, you have element 0 and element 1. This is the zero code, basically. I just realized I was talking away from my mic. Hopefully you can hear that all right. I'll check that before uploading this. But basically what I did is just go over the all-next success. You do sizes, and these are how many elements you have. When you add those things, the element corresponds to this number. So this is the 0th piece. It's one of the 2 pieces of puzzles that you need to successfully do in order to activate the exit detector. And then what should I do elsewise? I know what I should do elsewise. I have this other button right here. Now this other button, what I can do is get rid of those 2 things, and then I can find the base, stick it in, and go ahead and add correct, and set that to 1. So that will set the first thing, the number 1 to correct. So now we have this one setting it to the 0 to correct, and the other one setting it to the 1 to correct. And so, if we head in without that maximum thing, we should still high above the world. I'm not sure why that is. That didn't happen last time. Oh well, I'll just have to lean over and hope that I can touch that button. Yeah, it looks like I'm low enough to do that. Okay, so the first thing you'll do, I need to hit this button, and hopefully you can see that on here, this little check mark has happened. With this code, it's just accumulating successes, so there's no way to unsuccess it without changing the code, but that shouldn't be too difficult to do. And if you need help with that, I can help you out. But if I uncheck it, watch that check mark box as I hit the button. And boop, the button has been hit, and the check mark has come back. Now, let us put in this code. 0, 4, 5, 1. And then let me grab this gun so that we can see it when it fires. And let me hit this button to check. And you saw that was just the littlest So, there you go. That's how you use those. And, yeah, I'll be putting this up and those up soon. So have a good time with those, and good luck on your assignments. If you have any trouble with them, just get in touch with me. I'll be around the design space most of the time. And yeah, good luck.